The cellular reversal that we're now undergoing is where we come back into divine alignment and we start spinning in divine alignment with the divine matrix. Now, hold on. What does this mean? The Earth's poles will flip. That will happen in our lifetime. We'll undergo a magnetic reversal, a pole shift. But before that happens, there's a preparation for that pole shift at the individual level. And it has begun now at the cellular level, at the level of our DNA, at the level of our molecular structure. We are about to enter our own pole shift, our own field reversal. That refers to our own energy field. We're about to undergo an experience that I'm battling to put into words, but I'm going to do my best to describe to you in the wholeness and the fullness that you deserve to understand this. It is enormous. The Earth's poles will flip sometime in our future. This is what we are on trajectory for. This is why there are so many energy updates coming from me. And hey guys, look out for this. Hey guys, look out for that. The last video or the one before I put up about Kundalini. I was talking about something happening at the level of the chakric column. I spoke about a massive grounding on the planet of cosmic energy, galactic energy. Now we're taking all of that information a step further as we broach one of the biggest, the biggest energetic shift that I have seen take place on planet Earth. We're right here on the brink of it now. The other day I was driving in the car. I feel like I say this so often. The other day I was driving in the car and I had a vision. Okay, so I have a very specific little spot where I live just between the ocean and the mountains, and I often get psychic visions there. And the one that I saw, I'll be very honest with you when I say this to you, put me in a tailspin, and that doesn't normally happen. Put me in a little bit of a tailspin. I actually had to reach out to both my husband and one of the women that has been such an incredible support on my journey. Her name is Lisa Leinen. Lisa, by the way, is a trained Kiri K facilitator. So if ever you want a private session with me, I don't do them, but I've trained Lisa and another beautiful lady called Jackie Hall to do those on my behalf. Anyway, I phoned Lisa, or I messaged her, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I've seen. I told Brian, my husband, oh my God, this is what I've seen. I'm about to tell you, oh my God, this is what I've seen. But now I'm out of my tailspin. So I had to get stabilized by these two stabilizing forces in my life. So I'm going to be able to present the information to you today from a way integrated perspective and from a very stabilized perspective. I say this to you because what I'm about to share with you could put a lot of people into a tailspin, and I don't want that. This isn't to generate an, oh my God, fear event moment. This is actually the opposite. This is like a, oh my God, it's really happening, you guys moment. This is a, oh my God, this is where we are in the journey. You guys, ascension is what this lifetime is about. Ascension is a shift in frequency, but many things happen to facilitate this shift in frequency, because it's not just a little uptick in energy. It is the shift from one realm to another, one state of being to another, one matrix to another. Normally when that happens, we experience one life, the life ends, and we birth into another life. If we were to shift matrices, that's normally what would happen. That's normally how it would go down. What we're doing right now is collapsing one matrix whilst we remain alive and in the body, and then step into another matrix. This is the false matrix to the divine matrix. Please don't be one of those people in the comment section that go, oh, a matrix is a bad place. No, a matrix is simply a reality field. Yes, you get ones that are of God, of the original creation template. That's what we're reverting to. And then, of course, we get the false matrix. So we are in the process of shifting from one realm to another in our life, whilst still awake, eyes open. So this is way bigger than undergoing some kind of surgery or even an energetic surgery whilst we are conscious and awake. This is way bigger. This is the restructuring of every cell and every atom inside of our bodies, every blade of grass, every molecule of air, every mountain, ocean, fish and animal, everything in all of creation gets restructured when we move into this final shift. So when we use this word ascension, that's what ascension is. It is our planet not really going anywhere, but ascending in frequency, so that it once again vibrates and resonates to that pulse and that rhythm that is God's original creation template called the divine matrix, or think of it then as a divine world. I've also used the terminology, the organic universe. Don't get hung up on words. If there's one thing I keep sharing over and over again, so many people get hung up on words. Please try to feel the energy behind the words. The organic universe, or the divine matrix, or God's world, the original creation template. Different words to describe the same thing that we are in the process of evolving to now. When we exist in the false matrix, which is the realm we were born to, the realm that was orchestrated and engineered by the Archons, who are a group of depraved psychopathic beings pretending to be God, wanting to keep a matrix or a reality separate from the organic living universe, separate from the divine matrix. They've been doing this using us as the fuel source to create that reality on their behalf. But enough people on planet Earth have done exactly what they, the archonic influences, did not want us to do, and that is they've begun to perceive the energy of home, the energy of the divine matrix. They're beginning to perceive it, and not just perceive it, they're beginning to take it in. They're beginning to embody it. And that means that we start building up a resonance here inside the false matrix. And as we build up this resonance, it gets built up from inside our cellular matrix, inside the body structure. We begin to vibrate to a different energy. That is the energy of home, or the divine universe. As this happens, two things occur. The false matrix collapses, because now we're bringing the divine imprint into the false matrix, and that unsettles the false matrix. The false matrix only works when it is 100% stabilized into the illusory realm that it is. The illusory realm of the false matrix said, this is all that there is. This is normal. Everybody, you're in a normal organic world. This is totally natural. Of course, you're supposed to work for a living. Of course, you're supposed to be doing 2 jobs and still not be able to afford to pay your rent. Totally normal. Don't ask questions. Carry on with what you're doing. Slaves. Carry on with what you're doing so that you can unconsciously feed the system. Carry on with what you're doing so that you can get so exhausted that eventually in your depletion, you wipe yourself out. And then, this is the plan of the false matrix, when you as an energetic fuel source are unconscious and wiped out inside the collapsing false matrix, the plan of the Archons is that then you get sucked into the energy of the false matrix, and you get, for want of a better way of saying it, spewed out into the next false matrix. In other words, at the point of the cyclical end, listen to these words, the cyclical end. Our cycle is ending here on Earth. At that point, the false matrix wants to reestablish itself in another planetary system and to take the existing inhabitants of this false matrix with them. It's not going according to plan. Now remember, I said 2 things happen. The one is you begin to wake up and stir the false matrix, so that that illusion becomes very difficult for the false matrix to maintain. The other is, so this is as you, the light worker, starts to take in more light, because that's what a light worker does. A light worker works with light. And the second thing that happens is your energy, which is emitted from the molecular structure of your body, it begins to undergo its own pole flip, its own reversal. That is what we're in the process of doing right now. And this is the precursor and the preparation to the Earth's magnetic flip. And the Earth's magnetic flip, which many people would say is an extinction level event, is not, is the end of the cycle. It's the end of the cycle of the false matrix. Remember, the Archons want to just resurrect the false matrix in another planetary system. But we are messing with their plans, O light workers, because as we awaken and we awaken fully, and as we awaken to the extent that we're awakening right now, we send out a ripple. And the ripple that we're sending out into the collective invites those occupying the same matrix to wake up in their own way to their capacity. So it's not going to look like everybody's awakening at the same time. Sometimes a spiritual awakening looks like this. It looks like a person is unconscious, fast asleep, nothing's happening. Oh my God, they're comatose. And then bam, suddenly one day out of nowhere, an awakening happens. That is what we are undergoing right now. This contagious awakening. And I say contagious in the best possible sense of the word, where the ripple of the light workers becomes an irrepressible force. First, the sun begins to communicate with our bodies begin to communicate with the sun. If ever you wondered why people keep telling us to stay out of the sun, now you know why. But please don't worry, don't put too much in that. Don't feel like, oh my God, I've got to go risk skin cancer now and go put myself in the sun. You certainly can if you want to, but it's a limitation. It's a 3D mindset that says the sun and I only communicate when I'm outdoors in the sun. The sun and your body are in permanent dialogue. The more light you take in, the more permanent that dialogue becomes, and the more entrenched those lines of communication between you and the sun consciousness becomes. The sun is a portal that allows God light directly into our planet. We've been shielded and blocked from receiving those light codes, but this is the best way I can say it. The light workers bypassed the blockages that were set up to prevent us from being able to access the sun's harmonics, the sun's awakening frequencies, which is essentially, if I could put it this way, it's a very simplistic way of saying it, but that would be the equivalent to God's voice coming through the sun, or the universe's consciousness coming through the sun. So we bypassed all those blockages, started to receive the awakening signals. That's why so many of us felt homesick. I want to get off this planet. I don't belong. This isn't fun. It's not because we were meant to leave. It's because we were meant to receive the signal of home. Now, that reaches a point of critical mass within the individual. So yes, of course, it reaches a critical mass point within the collective. But first, within the individual, we soak up at an individual level so much light, so much cosmic consciousness, so much memory of our original creative essence, our original self starts to come online. We start just aligning to very basic things, very simplistic things like, hey, where's human kindness? Where's gratitude? Where's humility? We start beginning to hold ourselves in a higher alignment, higher levels of integrity start automatically coming online. That's part of the ripple. Are you going to see everybody being kind right now today? Of course not. Are you seeing the embers, the little sparks that will one day become the flame, that will one day become the blaze, that will one day become this pioneering new path of consciousness? Yes, that's where we are right now. Are you seeing it in your own life that there is a need, a desire, and a want for love? You can look at all the things you were programmed to want. I want a new car. I want a new house. I want a better status. I want. But then you can also look at the rising desire in you. And the most simplistic but truest way I can say it is that there's a rising desire to return to goodness, to our natural state of being, which is kind, which is harmonious, which is beautiful within you as the individual. So please don't look for it. Don't say to me in the comments, yeah, but Carrie, I don't see it out there. Okay, but do you see it in here? Because you're not here to wait for the change. You're here to be the change. So the critical mass that I'm talking about is where you start absorbing so much of these light codes. You do it while you're sleeping, you do it while you're waking, you do it while you're driving the car and brushing your teeth and taking the kids to school. This is the everyday meditation that I so often speak of, that life is becoming. As we become more online, more conscious, more awakened, we begin to soak these energies of cosmic consciousness into ourselves, returning us to our original state, and the reversal happens inside of us at the cellular and molecular level, a reversal happens. And when I say a reversal, what I'm saying to you is, when we were in the false matrix, we were spinning in a certain orientation to match the matrix we were born to. That's self-evident. We have to do that. We have to be in harmony with our environment. So we were spinning in reverse. That's how we lived in a reverse matrix. That's why I always say the ego was set up to navigate the false matrix. That was the part of us that could spin in reverse, which is why we acted so opposite to our nature, so unkind, so impure, so unknowing, so ignorant. All the things that we are naturally not is what we became. And that's what the ego is. The ego is that which you are not. So all of that was spinning in a reversal in order to make the reversed or the inversed matrix look normal to us, look like the real world to us. The cellular reversal that we're now undergoing is where we come back into divine alignment and we start spinning in divine alignment with the divine matrix. Now, hold on. What does this mean? You're spinning one way whilst the false matrix is spinning another. Will you be able to be accommodated in the false matrix? And the answer is technically no. Actually, technically no. You're going to feel like you're in no man's land for a little while, because you're going to be spinning to or vibrating with that divine matrix that's incoming but not yet physicalized. You're going to start spinning to that direction, to that orientation, or let me say it this way, dancing to the beat of that drum, tuning into that harmonic that isn't yet entirely physicalized, but that your body is aligning to. So you're going to undergo an energetic reversal. And that means that those that are in the false matrix, still vibrating with the false matrix, they're not going to be able to read you. They're not going to be able to understand you. And you're going to go, oh, yawn, Kerry. Oh, yawn. That's been happening for years. I know. Same here. For all of us, it's been happening. But now it's going to start happening. In the first couple of months of 2025, we're seeing the first wave of light workers permanently, not in a meditative process, permanently shifting their cellular orientation, their vibratory frequency to the divine matrix. This is an inner pole flip. And then I know what you're going to say. You're going to go, oh, but then does that mean the whole chakra column is shifting? Like where north was south, is south going to become north? What is that going to look like at the level of the energetic matrix? There's a reason why the work comes through as it does. It doesn't always appear this way, but it's coming through in an order. The most recent video that I put up, long form, was about the Kundalini. There was some kind of shift I was talking about happening in the Kundalini. I was talking about how we had the galactics stabilizing our planet. Now it makes even more sense what was going on. The galactics came in to hold us and stabilize us, and that's why we've got the support that we do right now, because it allows the light workers now to have their inner pole shift, for want of a better way of saying it, their inner pole shift, their inner reversal, which is actually just the realignment back to the organic universe, back to the divine matrix, back into that harmonic. The stabilizing of the grid, the stabilizing of Earth's frequency, that's now in place. That's why the galactic rods of light are in stabilizing us so powerfully, so that we can move. That's one of the things I said in the last video. I said, light workers, you're free to move now. If you were stationed at a certain place on the planet and you never felt like you could move, you were probably stationed there because you were grounding an energy into the grid where you were. But now you're free to move. I also said you'll be able to take flight. Now again, that message makes even more sense, because we were always receiving energy from the ground, which isn't wrong, by the way. We were meant to be nurtured by the ground. So in other words, we received energy in through the base chakra, up into the spinal column, and it went up out through the crown. Now, as we undergo our individual realignment, restructuring, reversal process, it's like the spin of your body is changing. So now you're going to be able to retrieve, receive, and absorb light codes directly from the organic universe, directly from the divine matrix, right through your spinal column. And it's going to go all the way down and it's going to feed the earth. Before, what had to happen is cosmic light came down into the earth, was absorbed into the earth, and then you absorbed it from the earth. So it was what I call pre-digested. We weren't able to take those light codes in directly, and now we are. That's part of the shift. There are many implications, and that's going to deserve its own video where I talk about the implications of this cellular shift, the implications of the individual pole reversal. I want you to understand the enormity of this, though, that this puts us into preparation for our planetary pole flip. Will that happen in the next 10 minutes or the next 10 days or the next 10 years? I can't say. All I can tell you is essentially it doesn't matter, because the wheel is turning. This is now in motion. This is now what we are preparing for. There'll first be the front runners who bring this new alignment in, who bring this new spin, this new direction in. You're going to see that play out in politics, in reality, in everyday life. You're going to see, wow, everything's taking on a new spin, a turning of the tide, you're going to call it. You're going to say, wow, things are shifting so rapidly. Yes, because the individual light worker is now able to permanently sit in that new field and just breathe it in, embody it, and send those light codes down to root inside the ground. And of course, there's that permanent symbiosis where we are still absorbing from the ground, we are still absorbing from the earth, but now this is our organic alignment where we're able to be switched on to receiving both simultaneously. It astounds me still, even as I bring you this information, that this is how far we have come. I said to you guys a couple videos back that 2025 marked a new era. I said 2025 to 2032. That's it, you guys. That's the beginning of a new era of consciousness. Like 2012 was. 2012 was the beginning of a new era in consciousness, and that ran till 2024. Here we are at the opening of a new era, and there's a new energy that we now get to embody. But this is the most profound thing that we can do. Can you imagine the epiphanies? Can you imagine the love? Can you imagine the light? Can you imagine the peace, the healing, the harmony, the ripple that comes from this? So from my heart, all the way into yours, I hold you in so much love. From my heart all the way into yours, I remind you that this is what we were born for. From my heart all the way into yours, I implore you to tune in to the stability that we are surrounded by. There has been so much preparation for us to now receive what we are receiving. You are stabilized as we undergo this shift. And don't you worry about a thing. The front runners, they're the first ones that are going to go into this new energetic alignment, which makes it safe for the next wave, and then the next wave, and then the next. This only happens. This only triggers inside of you when you are ready. Not a second before. Not a second before. For some people, this will only happen at the planetary pole shift. This is happening for the light workers now, who are simply those that are holding higher consciousness. In other words, those who've had or are having some kind of spiritual upliftment, awakening. Those are the ones that go first. And then wave by wave by wave, it ripples into the collective until all who have chosen at the soul level to ascend into 5D, to be a part of the collapsing of the false matrix entirely and completely, all those who've said yes to that have the opportunity now. And it is now underway. It is now beginning. From my heart. Thank you for walking this journey of awakening. Go ahead and share this video with a friend. I have no doubt there will be others that need this level of information and they need it now. So go ahead and do that. Leave me a comment, drop a like, make sure you've subscribed. Much more information about this to unfold. Speak to you soon.